So guys, today we're doing Citrix. Citrix is the version that we are doing is 6.5 for now. Once we are fluent with 6.5 at the end, we're going to compare the features with 7.6 and 7.9. 7.6 being the latest, 7.9 is actually 7.9 is the latest. 7.6 is a little bit used, maybe 15%. 6.5 is the one that is used in the market at the moment, more than 80%. So we need to have all Citrix concepts on our fingertips. Now again, this Citrix, the training that we are going through, this is a training for, this will prepare us for CCA, which is a Citrix Certified Administrator exam. And I think most of the class already completed that exam. So now we are at the training. Now once we are going through this training, I want you to make notes, as much notes as possible. The reason is the more notes you make, the more you will remember from the class, and the more you remember from the class, you'll never forget it. So the more you remember here in class, that will be actually the main, and then keep writing notes so that you can review one time at home. Okay. So today we are doing Citrix 6.5. The certification, you need to have CCA certification, and CCA stands for Citrix Certified Administrator. Citrix Certified. How many of you have finished this certification? Let's see the raise of hands. Okay, so there are many. Most of the class. And for the, by the way, dumps are still valid. Dumps are still valid. You can still go for Citrix. Same dumps, same 100 questions. So you should, I think you should go for it as soon as possible. Citrix XenApp, just complete it as soon as possible. So let's start with Citrix, guys. Now Citrix, one word to remember is application virtualization. This is Citrix is application virtualization. This is an application virtualization product. So Citrix application. Citrix is application virtualization. In this, what we do, we virtualize applications and provide it to all of the clients. We virtualize application, provide it to the client. Now it is similar to Hyper-V that you already have seen. In Hyper-V, we virtualize machines, we virtualize operating system. In Hyper-V, similarities are, so since we already know Hyper-V, what is Hyper-V? Hyper-V is a role in Server 2012, right? Yeah. 2008, Server 2012. What do we do in Hyper-V? In Hyper-V, you make a Hyper-V server and then install VMs inside, right? Now this VM, and VM stands for? Virtual machine. So VM stands for virtual machine. This virtual machine, do you think it's physical or virtual?
Virtual.
It's virtual. It doesn't have physical existence. This server where you're installing Hyper-V, it will be physical in most of the cases outside in the market. So this is a virtual. So this Hyper-V actually provides us virtual machines. Whereas Citrix is a product that provides us, so first we're going to have a server. Let's understand what Citrix is. So first we're going to have a server, and then what we're going to do, we are going to install an application inside Citrix. So what application? Any application that is used outside in the market. What happened?
Nothing.
You couldn't find the power?
No, I found the power, but I didn't find the...
He didn't find himself.
Oh, the pen. Oh, you took his pen?
I have pen.
Okay, pen now?
I have it, yeah.
Okay.
So which pen do you need?
Okay. Citrix, guys. Citrix. So Citrix. Look at Citrix, guys. Now Citrix. One word is, what is one word?
Application.
I can't hear everyone, guys.
Application
virtualization. I can't hear you, Kadir.
Application virtualization.
Virtualization. It is right here. Application virtualization. Citrix says application virtualization. Guys, why keywords? Because in interviews you need keywords. and introduce. They don't need huge big stories from you. What is Citrix? So you start giving them a full background of Citrix, and there's no. They're looking for a keyword that can let them move on to the next question. So Citrix, one word is application. Now what is application virtualization? Application virtualization is just like we make virtual machines. All we need to do, we will install an application inside Citrix. Let's say, what is an application? MS Word.
Inside Citrix, inside server.
Inside. So inside a server, we install Citrix.
Okay.
Okay, so you're right. So inside server, we install the operating system. The operating system is 2008. We are working with 2008. We can work with 2012 as well. But for now, we'll be working with 2008. And inside 2008, we are going to install Citrix. So there is Citrix inside.
Smart.
And inside Citrix, we are going to install an application. Guys, what are we understanding? What is application virtualization? So one more time. So Citrix works like this. You need to have a server. And what is our favorite server? What is our favorite server?
2000.
No, IBM 3650 M5. IBM 3650 M5. IBM 3650 M5. So remember, this is the server that you're working on. This is a physical server that you're working on, guys. Remember this. So write it down somewhere. Next time I asked you what server have you worked on, so server is IBM 3650.
Real environment.
In real environment. Actually, IBM 3650 are sitting in that room. So I'm going to show you those servers. At one time we'll bring the server and you can do the complete install. So it's not different from how you prepare these other machines. So your server that we worked on is what? IBM 3650 M5. Now why M5? M5 is just generation. So it has M1, older server, M2, M3, M4, M5. This is M5, newer generation. Now, in this IBM 3650, all you did was install 2008 inside. 2008 is a client operating system or a server operating system?
Server operating system.
Server.
It is a server, the operating system. So you install 2008, and inside 2008 you install Citrix. So here you have Citrix. And one word for Citrix is?
Application
virtualization.
Application virtualization. Excellent. So and what this does, in this, whatever application you install, it will virtualize it. So meaning, let's say inside you're installing MS Word. MS Word is an application. MS Word is application for what? It's an application in which you can make documents. You can install another application, Notepad. What is a Notepad? Notepad is an application in which you can type simple word processor. So you have how many applications in Citrix? Two applications. Now, since they are virtualized, all of the clients, they can access this application. So they are going to access this application without even installing Word in them. So you don't actually Notepad is already there, so we can add Notepad. But for now, let's think of Word, because Word is not there. So what we do is, whatever application you installed inside Citrix, it will be accessed by these clients and will be given back once they are done. So the biggest advantage of Citrix is I don't have to install application in each of these machines. They can borrow their application, use it, and give it back to the server. That's a very big, huge advantage. That's a huge advantage. Let's say you have an environment of 20,000 PCs, and you need to deploy a new application. You need to deploy, let's say, maybe a small financial application, or maybe an HR application. So this application in this organization needs to be given to 20,000 employees. So there are two ways. How many?
2 ways.
I can't hear you.
2 ways.
2 ways, guys. So there are 2 ways. One way is that you can go computer by computer and then install manually. Right? So one way is manual. Now manually, what do you think that this application, how much time would it take to install in all of them?
Depending on application.
Depending on, number one, it depends on application, that how complex their application is. Let's say it's the most simplest application. You take a package, you take a application as a CD, put it in a computer and install it, right? So application, but let's say it's the simplest application, then still how long will it take to install on 20,000 machines?
If you use a CD, then CD would take
it's
about
simple enough.
10 to 15 minutes.
10 minutes.
10 minutes. So 10 minutes on one machine or on 20,000 machines?
20,000 machine.
20,000 machines.
One machine.
Yes,
1
if
year.
all 20,000 machines
1 year, really nice.
are in the same room, yes. But still not, it won't be 10 minutes.
Maybe 6
You
months.
still have to
6
go to
months.
one machine and then install it. Then another machine and install it.
1
And
year.
if you're Gary, you're gonna eat there. Yeah, and then once you finish eating, then you install the second application.
1
And
year.
once before going to the third application,
After
he's
the
gonna
eating-
eat again.
After the eating, he will, sir, washroom. You skip the washroom.
Do you think I'm gonna make fun of that? Yes. So after the third computer, before eating, he's gonna go to washroom.
Like it's 2 years. It's 2 years project.
So what I mean is,
Yeah, so you have
no,
to-
so
Make more money, man.
yes. Okay. So let's look at this. Guys, application installation is very simple as long as it's on few computers. And it's a simple application, but let's say these three machines, these 20,000 machines are spread across 5 cities. 5 cities. So they're in 5 cities. So now how long it's gonna take?
2 years.
It might take more than 2 or 3 months, or maybe more. Why? Why? Because you have to do their installation. And now, remember, we are doing this manually. Remember, what application is this? So let's what application? Let's say Adobe Acrobat.
So what's the job title would be?
The job
Application
title
installer.
is application installer.
Installer.
Application installer. So Adobe
25
Acrobat,
bucks an hour.
you need to do it in 20,000 machines spread across 5 cities.
For 5 cities,
Okay,
company
so
have to
let's-
hire a
let-
5 person to install over there. More.
You need more people to do it. You need more.
More jobs,
And
more
guys,
money.
this is now. What are we understanding, guys? We are understanding here the importance of Citrix. Why Citrix is famous? Citrix is already famous throughout the world. Citrix is being used in throughout the world. Now, why is it famous? We're trying to understand. So, an application needed to be installed on 20,000 machines. We said that it's a manual installation. It's a simple installation. It's not a very complex installation where you need a CD and then it needs a restart and then you need to take out a CD and then install again and all that. It's a very simple application. You need to install it. Question.
Is the Microsoft has its own product for the similar to the Citrix? Which one is that?
Microsoft has another product, AppView.
Remote desktop.
It's called
something?
AppView. It
No.
actually AppView uses remote. It uses RDS, but it's called AppView. So,
Okay.
Okay.
So that's also getting popular now, or Citrix is the main?
Yes, they are competitors. So in virtualization world, there are three big competitors: Citrix, Microsoft, and VMware. VMware has its own View.
Oh, so-
VMware View is a product for
Applications.
application.
But the virtualization or VMware is only for the server virtualization or the application?
Yes, exactly. Virtualization. Sorry, what again?
I mean, like VMware is only specialized in the virtualization server or the applications as well?
No, all three of them. So the three competitors are competing against each other for three types of virtualization. There are many types of virtualization. So the major virtualization, let's make it here. So virtualization majorly of three types that are in the market at the moment. Number one is servers virtualization, servers. Then second one is desktop. The third one is application. Other than these three, there is storage virtualization. There is network virtualization. There is a few other types of virtualization. Now, three major virtualizations. So I'm going to say virtualization, and three major competitors. So three major competitors, starting with Microsoft, VMware, and Citrix. VMware is famous for server virtualization. VMware is famous. So VMware is famous for, and their product is called vSphere. Their product is called vSphere. vSphere is a product of VMware for servers virtualization.
Now I get it.
Whereas Microsoft product is
That's the door's
Hyper-V.
really close.
That is called Hyper-V. So Microsoft product is Hyper-V. And then you have Citrix. Citrix is called XenServer. So they have their products. So Citrix has a XenServer as servers virtualization. VMware has vSphere as servers virtualization, whereas Microsoft has Hyper-V as servers virtualization. On the application side, so famous is this one. Now Microsoft is also competing, so I'm gonna say it has 2 stars and Microsoft has 1 star. Zen Server is not that famous. Zen Server is not that famous in many organizations for server virtualization,
Zen
but
Desktop
major
and
is
Zen App.
vSphere, and major competitor for vSphere is Hyper-V. And Hyper-V is actually, it's a role, but the major product for Microsoft Server Virtualization is SCVMM actually. So SCVMM is actually the main product of private, that is a private cloud, that is the main product that is competing against vSphere. Okay? On the same side, in application virtualization, famous is Citrix. Famous is Citrix. So right here, Citrix has a product called XenApp. XenApp. That is a product that is an application virtualization, and that is famous. So as compared to both of them, this is famous. And their desktop virtualization is called Zen Desktop.
I have a question, sir.
Yes.
The vSphere is a kind of like an operating system?
It is an operating system and hypervisor too. Yes, it is an operating system.
Oh.
It doesn't need Microsoft. It doesn't need it's a Linux-based operating system.
Because we were at the college, we were trying to install the vSphere that time.
It's an operating system. It is installed on its own. We're going to go for this training after
Okay.
Citrix. Okay.
What the
That is called Zen Server,
Zen Server.
and that is called Zen XEN Desktop, and that is called XenApp.
Yep.
XenApp.
Roger's using Cisco.
Yes, that is network. That is a
That's
network side, but Roger is using all 3 of them. So Cisco is on the network side. We are on the system side. Okay. So let's look at this. So for Citrix, well, the product that we are doing, the product that we are learning at the moment is this product, XenApp. So this is Citrix 6.5, and the product is XenApp. We are trying to become an expert of XenApp, which is XenApp 6.5. So the
So-
product that we are learning is a XenApp 6.5. Yes.
So what kind of application it takes? Like all the softwares and
Everything.
even though all the apps and all that?
Everything. Not operating systems. Operating systems are not applications, right?
But
Yeah, yeah.
So other than operating system, all applications, any type of application, you just take it in Citrix, it will keep it and then loan it to you. You can use it and give it back. So the biggest advantage of application virtualization is, let's say this is my application whoa, what? I didn't do anything.
Laptop.
Now look at this, application. So this is Citrix, guys. This is how Citrix works. Application. So what we do in
Oh, application.
confidential.
Confidential application.
okay.
Here.
We take any application, okay, and then what we do is we make a package of that application in Citrix. So in Citrix, it becomes a package. Now it is sitting in Citrix server. As soon as, Gary, you need to use this application, so there are 2 ways. One way is that I give you the application and you install it. So that is not called virtualization. That will be called that I gave you the application for good and you're using it. And so, but in Citrix, what happens is we package that application and it is ready to be loaned to anyone. So what happens is I have the application, you need to use that application, a copy of that application will be given to you. You will need to install that app. You don't need to install that application, you use that application. Once it is done, it is given back to the server. So the biggest advantage of Citrix is that you never have to install applications in all these machines. So here you had to install Adobe on 20,000 machines, where machines were scattered in 5 different cities. It could be that many machines are not compatible with that application. But in Citrix, what you need to do is install that application in a Citrix server and then give access to all 20,000 machines. Wherever the machine is, machine will access that application, use it, and then once it is done, given back to Citrix. So Citrix, this is why it is known as Citrix, is an application virtualization that loans that application for a temporary use, and then once you're done, it is given back to Citrix. Yes.
So what's the major difference between why the Citrix is more popular, or the Microsoft is also competing with these companies?
I
right?
think that is. I mean, so guys, the question here is, why is one company popular as compared to other companies.
Like
In my view,
what's their product, and also if we learn XenApp, XenApp, and is this a way we can transfer if someone wants, let's say, if there's a job for vSphere, do you think that we'll be able to work in vSphere or the Hyper-V or anything?
No, they're two different products. Now, but guys, the question here is, if you are an expert of vSphere, would you be able to understand XenServer or Hyper-V? No, but with a little bit of training, yes, you can. Why? Because all of them works, it's almost in the same fashion. The concept is same in all of them. They're all server virtualization, but their components are installed and named in different manner. That's it. It will be almost the same difference. You're driving a Corolla or somebody gives you a Ferrari. I mean, concept is same. Both you need to drive. But Ferrari, you might need to learn how to drive it, or maybe an aeroplane. You might need to learn how to drive an aeroplane as compared to. So yes. So to answer this, no. If you're an expert of vSphere, you won't be an expert of the other. But with a little effort, you can understand the other.
But and the other one, what's the difference on the XenApp? Why it's so popular too?
Yes. So the other question is why one company is more popular than others. So I'll give you. There are many reasons. The very first reason, the main reason is a pioneer. Who is the pioneer? Who started first? So in server virtualization, actually VMware was the first one that started 20 years back. Microsoft also introduced a server virtualization product, but it was not very famous. It was vSphere that came up with the main idea, and then they started building. So they are famous and they are expensive. Microsoft is second one. So same goes for Citrix XenApp. Citrix came up with the idea of to do the application virtualization, it being the pioneer. Now then, their marketing strategy, that how they access the market. So here we are with this. So Citrix is this. Now, guys, Citrix is not a new product. Citrix is a proven technology. People are using it. You'll go to many organizations, they're already using Citrix. So Citrix is an important product to learn. Now the question is, how difficult Citrix is. Guys, it's not difficult at all. It's not difficult. As long as you understand the components, how they are installed and configured, it's very easy to understand and work with Citrix. It's not, but the problem is, we don't spend enough time in labs. We don't do practical. We try to understand. We understand the concepts here, but you don't do practical, you won't get it. So practical is key in understanding in any technology. So starting with Citrix. Now, in this training, what is a XenApp? So first of all, XenApp, we already know XenApp is an application virtualization product from Citrix. So XenApp has other two. Citrix has other two products. So Citrix being a big company, it's a big company. Citrix has three major products. They have many other products, but three major products. One is XenServer. What is the first one? XenServer. It is for what? Servers virtualization. Citrix second product is XenDesktop. It is for desktop virtualization. It is almost the same concept of XenServer. You have one big server with all Windows 7 as virtual machines. So that is XenDesktop. XenDesktop is just providing you a client machine, a virtual client machine instead of a physical client machine. Yes?
Are we going to touch anything about XenDesktop or no?
No. So actually each one of them is a complete infrastructure in itself. But I can tell you this much, that if you understand very good XenApp and its infrastructure, you'll be able to understand XenDesktop as well.
At my work I have to use that a lot.
Which one?
Both XenApp and
XenApp
XenDesktop.
You know XenDesktop.
The clients use XenDesktops.
Yes.
All I know is just
many
desktop.
companies are using XenDesktop. Many companies.
Yeah, I was working on the XenDesktop
Guys,
too.
the key here is to understand one technology, and then you will be able to understand the other technology as well. Because they're not very different. They just have their own infrastructure. Now XenApp is a product that provides us virtualization. What does XenApp do? XenApp is actually inside here that makes the application virtualized and provided to a user. So it does these few things. So XenApp Book definition is this. Book definition is just this. Book definition is XenApp is an on-demand application delivery solution that enables any application to be virtualized, centralized, managed in a data center, instantly delivered as a service to the user anywhere on any device. Anywhere, any device, and that is XenApp. Now XenApp is basically application virtualization, guys. XenApp is application virtualization. So the product that we are doing is XenApp. What this does, it provides on-demand applications to the users without being installed on their machines. Without being installed on their machine.
Why on demand?
On demand, you just need it now. You'll get it now. I mean, the flip side is, let's say if I need MS Office, how do I do it? I need to go to Staples, buy a CD, bring it, and then on demand basically means you're sitting in office and you need it now. So you will go to the Citrix server, just click that application, and it will be given to you. So that is on demand application provider. So XenApp is on-demand application provider that is given to you. It is virtual application and it will be given to the user. Now XenApp comes in 3 different editions. Number 1 is Advanced XenApp. Number 2 is Enterprise. Number 3 is Platinum. Now Platinum, Enterprise, and Advanced, they are all different they are same application, same concept, but in Platinum you'll get the most number of features, actually all features. This is a full featured version. This is the second on the second number, and this is the third. This is just a basic version, Advanced. So Advanced, Enterprise, and Platinum. And what features are there? So here is XenApp. It is an application virtualization platform where we virtualize any application, and provide to users over the network. So XenApp is that product in which we virtualize application and then provide it to user whenever they need it. Second thing, XenApp. So let's make a quick diagram. So applications meaning, let's say MS Word, and then application, Excel, and then application, you have, let's say, WinZip, and then application, and any application. So these are example application. Let's say these are applications. These are applications. Now these applications can be given to users manually. You install them one by one. So one way to provide these applications is a manual process, and second way is XenApp, Citrix XenApp. So you can provide these applications to users in both ways. Manually, when you install it, you need to go directly to user's PC. So this is user's PC, Windows 7. Let's say this one is Windows 8. Then again, you have Windows 7. So these are different users. Manually, you need to install that application. So these 3 applications manually, you need to install them. So here, install on user PC. So this is how, manually it is just this. All you need to do is, you need to install that application manually on user machine. This is one way of providing it. But what Citrix does, Citrix provides a virtual application. In Citrix, this is how it works. So you need a Citrix server. So here you need a Citrix server. So in this, it will be 2008 server. Within 2008 server, you're installing Citrix XenApp inside. And then what we do, we virtualize these applications inside. So virtualize meaning we package them. Virtualization is basically packaging it as make an application. So basically these three applications, so application 1, 2, and 3, what are we doing? We are virtualizing them. So this application, MS Word, you will package inside. So I'm going to package them. So it is packaged, and this is packaged, and this is packaged. So this is packaged. These are packaged applications. And what we do, instead of installing them, we loan them to users. They are loaned to users for their use, and they give it back. So here I'm going to use a word called application app loaned to user. Loaned to user, and then what happens, as soon as user is done with the application, application will be given back to the server. So app given back to server. Now, right at this point, right at the beginning of this training, if you understand this concept, this is what Citrix XenApp is. If you understand this concept, then this is what Citrix XenApp is, and now what is there to understand? How to install it, what are the components, how does it work? But basically, it is this concept. You take real application, virtualize them, and what is virtualization? Just package them. So this is basically, I packaged it. You got a brand new application, and any application, you name that application, that can be packaged. So this application will be packaged inside, so you packaged it. And now it is sitting inside a XenApp server. Now this user needed it. It needs to go to a XenApp server. XenApp server will give that application temporarily. Now your question is, how many times this one application can be used at one time by how many users? Unlimited. So same application package can be used by 1,000 users at the same time. So this guy is using it, and then this guy is using it, and then other guy, then other guy. Then as long as one is done, the application will be given back to Citrix. Yes.
And how's the licensing going to be working? How the licensing works through
Yes,
the...
licensing is concurrent licensing. This is concurrent licensing. So I'm going to come back to licensing, but I'm going to write here. Licensing is called concurrent licensing. Concurrent. Now, okay, so since we are here, concurrent simply means that as long as application is used by Noman, that license is in use. As soon as Noman is done, he gives me back the application, he's giving me back the license too. I can now issue it to somebody else. So whoever is using that application, he owns the license. As soon as he is done, I have the license. So let's say I have 50 licenses. 50 users at one time can use this application. If 51 user try to access that application, he can't use it. Why? Because there is not enough licenses. But let's say out of 50 users, one user is done with that application. Now I have 49 licenses in use and one to be. So this is known as